Have you ever felt that nudge to do something huge, something you knew was important, but your first thought was, no way, not me? Well, that's exactly where we find ourselves in Exodus chapter 4. So let's dive into this amazing story about a divine call and the very human man who felt completely unqualified to answer it. I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? It's what makes this story so relatable. This question puts us right there with Moses, barefoot in front of a burning bush, being asked to go up against the most powerful ruler on the planet. This whole chapter is really about where God's incredible power meets our own very real weakness. Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with Moses' own doubts, then see how God answers him with miracles. We'll look at why he still felt reluctant, follow him on the journey where a covenant is tested, and then we get to see the powerful results of his obedience. So picture this. Moses has just had this mind-blowing encounter with God in a burning bush. He's been given his mission, but his first reaction isn't, yes, let's go. No, it's a super practical, very human problem he brings up. And what's so real about this is that he's not really defying God. He's just being honest about his insecurity. He's basically saying, God, I see you, but who am I? Why would my own people, the Israelites, ever believe that you sent me of all people? He's looking at this impossible task and is just completely overwhelmed. And God's response to this is, it's just perfect. He doesn't give Moses a lecture. He doesn't just say, hey, have more faith. Instead, he meets Moses right where he is, and he gives him tangible, undeniable proof of his power. He gives him his credentials, so to speak. God gives him 3 incredible signs. First, his ordinary shepherd's staff turns into a snake, a symbol of royal power and danger in Egypt, and then turns right back. Second, his own hand becomes leprous and then is healed in an instant, a sign of God's authority over life and death itself. And for the grand finale, if they still don't believe, he's told to take water from the Nile and turn it into blood. Each sign is a message. The God sending Moses is Lord over nature, Lord over life, and Lord over Egypt. Now, you'd think after seeing all that, Moses would be fired up and ready to go, right? But he's not. See, his insecurity was deeper than just needing proof for other people. The problem wasn't just out there. It was in here, inside him. And this is just, it's such a human moment, you know? His argument switches from they won't believe me to I'm not good enough. He's having this massive case of imposter syndrome, right in the presence of God himself. He's convinced he's the wrong guy for the job. This really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you have Moses, completely fixated on his weakness. I'm not a good speaker, I'm slow of speech. And on the other side, you have God's simple, powerful truth. He asks, who made your mouth, Moses? The point is so clear. God isn't looking for our ability. He's looking for our availability. He'll provide the words. Just let that promise sink in for a second. It's not about how great Moses can speak. It's about God's presence with him. I will be with thy mouth. God doesn't just send him out on his own. He promises to go with him, to literally be the source of his words. That's a game changer. But even after that incredible promise, Moses makes one last plea. Oh Lord, please send someone else. And the Bible says God's anger was kindled. And yet, even in his anger, God shows so much grace. He gives Moses a solution for his fear. He says, okay, your brother Aaron, he can speak well. He'll be your mouthpiece. So, with all his objections finally answered and a partner for the journey, Moses obeys. He starts that long road back to Egypt, the very place he'd run from years ago. But as he's about to find out, the path of obedience isn't always a smooth one. All right, so Moses does the practical things. He gets his father-in-law's blessing, packs up his wife and sons, and he grabs that shepherd's staff, which the Bible now calls the rod of God. And he gets a specific message for Pharaoh. Let my son, my firstborn, Israel, go. The battle lines are being drawn. And then the story takes this sudden, really sobering turn. Out of nowhere, on the way to Egypt, the Lord meets Moses at an inn and seeks to kill him. It is jarring and intense, and you're left thinking, wait, what is happening right now? Well, the key to understanding this is the word covenant. Moses was about to lead God's people based on a sacred promise, a covenant God made with Abraham. But he had neglected the sign of that very covenant in his own family. His son wasn't circumcised. His wife, Zipporah, gets it immediately. She acts quickly and saves his life. This terrifying moment drives home a crucial point. You can't lead God's people if you're not walking in obedience to him yourself. It's that serious. Okay, so after passing that intense test of obedience, Moses finally meets up with his brother Aaron. And now it's time for the moment of truth. Will the elders of Israel actually listen to them? And this is where we see God's plan just come together beautifully. Aaron, the eloquent one, speaks the words God gave them, and Moses, the one with the rod of God, performs the miraculous signs. The partnership that God designed to accommodate Moses' fear worked perfectly. And here it is, the incredible climax of the chapter. Moses' single biggest fear, the very first words out of his mouth, "They will not believe me," was proven totally wrong. The people did believe. And what was the result of that belief? It wasn't just agreement, it was worship. When they heard that God hadn't forgotten them, that he saw their suffering, they bowed their heads and worshiped. So Moses, the reluctant prophet, discovered that he didn't need to be eloquent. He just needed to be available for God to speak through him. The people of Israel had their hope restored. But this was only step one. Getting the attention of the suffering was one thing, but now they had to face a king with a hardened heart. That battle was just beginning.